Hello, I'm Craig Birch here at Manders Real Estate headquarters on the Compton Road in the heart of Wolverhampton. It's not top tips, I love calling it top tips, but this is more 5 questions answered about a very, very grey area for people who enter the property market. It's conveyancing, it's the legal process that has to be completed for you to buy or sell a home. It can be a bit of a minefield, so we're just going to go through the questions that we've had from various clients and customers that they've had answered, and maybe by watching this video you can learn a thing or two yourself. So if that situation ever befalls you, you sort of know what you're getting yourself into. So 5 questions about conveyancing then. Number 1, what are you actually conveying? Tends to be a piece of land or a property which they call a principal dwelling, and that is what you are transferring from one party to another. But also be careful as well if there's outhouses, sheds, maybe a nice garden or something, or certain elements of a garden, a garage in an apartment block or something like that, you might not actually be getting that as well. So when you go through the process, just make sure that the seller is giving you everything that you want for the price that you've negotiated between yourselves. Check all the small print like you should do with anything legal, and make sure everything is as it should be. Number 2, what is the actual process? It's survey, it's your due diligence, and then you nudge forward to completion. When you get the conveyancer or a solicitor involved, their job is to do the due diligence and make all the necessary inquiries for you. The survey obviously just makes sure that there's no structural problems, there's no issues with the property, and that's what your conveyancer does. We pay a conveyancer for. They do all of it, and then when the survey is complete and all parties are happy, then you can move forward and get that little bit nearer to completion, which is obviously the end game as it was. Number 3, can you save money by shopping around? Yes, you certainly can. There are a lot of conveyancing companies these days. There are a lot of solicitors knocking around these days who offer that service, and of course they're all in competition. So do look around and try and get the best price for yourself. Money saved is almost as good as money earned, as we all know. Number 4, do you have to stay local? Not in this day and age. No one has to stay local for anything anymore. You don't just go down to Curry's and buy a TV. There's Curry's all over the country. You never know what you might get for your money. And you don't have to stay local at all. You can go anywhere. We have phone calls here at Manders. We do a lot of property transactions, and we have conveyancers from far afield dealing with properties around here. But do your own due diligence and make sure that these guys are reputable. These guys and girls are reputable, and they're going to be able to do the job that you're paying them to do. But the other thing about conveyancing as well, you can do it yourself. There's nothing to say you can't do it yourself, but my God, is it a labour intensive job. So for what it costs you, you might be worth just getting that hassle out of your hair, because it is a bit of a minefield. That's why we're doing this video. And you don't necessarily have to appoint anyone who's qualified as a conveyancer to complete this process for you, but I would suggest it's probably a good idea that you do, because otherwise it can fall to pieces very quickly. Which brings me on to number 5. How long does a transaction normally last? It tends to be 10 to 12 weeks. That's the average. It can be quicker, it can also be longer as well. And this is the most important part of the entire video really. You need to know this. At any point during this 10-12 week process, in the eyes of English law, nothing is sealed until the contracts are signed and exchanged. So either party, for whatever reason, they don't particularly have to even give a reason, can say, I don't want this anymore, and the whole deal, the whole chain falls apart. So no wonder that period tends to be the most stressful for sellers and buyers alike. Hopefully that's cleared up a few things about conveyancing. It's never going to be the most stress-free period in life. It should be okay a lot of the time, but things can and do happen. So conveyancing, just make sure you're fully prepared for what's ahead, if that's what you need to do. I'm Craig Birch, and we'll see you next week.